Hello, Amy Rofail here for the Friday, February 19th Jerusalem Connection Red Alert Report. BDS, Boycott, Divest, Sanction, in the strangest of places. Nowhere in the Middle East can one find more premier medical care than in Israel with Israeli medical personnel. When disaster strikes anywhere in the world, Israel is one of the first countries to dispatch medical personnel. The first to arrive in the Haiti quake and in the Malaysia tsunami were indeed Israeli medical professionals. Moreover, Israel itself and its medical personnel provide services to all inhabitants of the Middle East. Palestinian patients are routinely treated by Israeli professionals, and often for free. So why then does the WMA, the World Medical Association, get repeated requests to banish Israeli doctors from its rosters? The World Medical Association gets many letters with unsubstantiated requests to ban Israeli doctors from its rosters with claims of human rights abuses, including claims of torturing Palestinian patients. 71 British physicians sent a letter to the WMA to have the IMA, the Israeli Medical Association, removed from its membership. Previous such allegations have occurred and investigations were launched, and never once has one bit of evidence found any human rights abuses, any tortures, anything other than premier medical care dispensed by Israeli medical personnel. When this particular letter last came a few months ago, Shimon Samuels, the International Relations Director of the Simon Wiesenthal Center, sent an urgent letter to the WMA president. UK-based President Marmont responded quickly that he was rejecting this letter outright. Samuels noted that Marmont's letter exudes a fatigue with the BDS movement, which seeks to boycott and delegitimize the Jewish state. So at least we all know where the UK-based president of the World Medical Association stands. He recognized the empty but squeaky wheel mentality of those who seek to demonize Israel and the BDS movement that lies behind it. The old adage of repeat a lie often enough and loud enough and everyone will start to believe it, it's not working among the scientific community. This is another victory for truth, another victory for the victor, in whose hands this battle lies. On the political front, many months ago I reported how U.S. state legislatures are taking up votes on measures to legislate anti-BDS actions. Indiana was one such state moving forward on this proposal. On January 26, 2016, the Indiana State Legislature unanimously passed anti-BDS measures that in the state itself will not do business with any entity that boycotts Israel. The bill defines this as, and I quote, "the promotion of activities to boycott, divest from, or sanction Israel as meeting this standard, necessary under the law to mandate a divestment from that company." The Indiana bill also states that the effort to boycott, divest, and sanction Israel is in itself, quote, "an antithetical and deeply damaging to the cause of peace, justice, equality, democracy, and human rights for people in the Middle East." The bill is one of about a dozen under consideration in state legislatures around this country, the U.S., to counter the BDS movement. This bill in Indiana will not only include organizations and businesses in the state not to do business with companies that boycott Israel, but also applies to their universities. And we know that universities are a big target for the BDS movement. The bill mandates divestment from any company boycotting Israel from its teachers' union retirement funds. Now, this state Senate has to approve this bill, and Governor Mike Pence, does need to sign it, but he is an arch supporter of Israel, and that is expected to happen. Keep in mind that the Arab League has organized boycotts against Israeli or Jewish products from as far back as the 1920s and 40s. Formal federal legislation banning participating in boycotts in America occurred back in the 1970s. However, these laws are not being directly applied to the BDS movement of today, even though they're using the same playbook as the Arab League. Currently, the anti-BDS movement in America is trying to shore up the loopholes between the federal laws on the books against boycotting Israel and against the economic hurt that it inflicts on both U.S. economics and other innocents with the actions of the BDS movements today. There seemingly is a separation there for those laws not to be applied. New laws can also be enacted to address BDS and close these loopholes. Recently, Representative Peter Roskam added anti-BDS language into the Trade Promotion Authority recently passed by Congress and signed by President Obama. They are also considering utilizing anti-discrimination measures to combat the BDS movement, which they say promotes hatred and discrimination against Jewish Americans and other pro-Israel supporters, especially on college campuses. Moreover, the United Auto Workers Union recently nullified a resolution adopted by one of their local branches that endorsed BDS. The union explicitly dismissed BDS supporters' claims that it was a human rights group. It stated, and I quote, "Despite semantical claims to the contrary, BDS can easily be construed as academic and cultural discrimination." And the UAW went on to say that BDS supports to be a program of discrimination and vilification of Jews against Israelis and UA members who are of Jewish lineage. It is amazing to me that medical doctors, Republican and Democrat lawmakers in the U.S., and union workers all agree the same thing. The BDS movement, boycott, divest, and sanction, is openly anti-Semitic, discriminatory, and reaches far beyond an economic effort to boycott a company because they don't like its policies, but are reaching into an entire culture and an entire people in order to inflict pain. But it is not gaining traction everywhere. It is being identified and stamped down in a variety of venues. And this is a wonderful thing. The Lord has His hand on it. Shavua Tov. Have a great week. Shabbat Shalom.